go ahead and call me Chef Shucko because we are cooking with this Feraligatr and Hawlucha team. I wanted to bring up the Johto trend. We had some good success with Meganium on the ladder, so let's bring Feraligatr to the Regulation F ranked ladder now. We have Sheer Force and Life Orb to absolutely increase Feraligatr's attacks to the next level. We're going to add that extra oomph to the Liquidation, Rock Slide, and Ice Punch. We have a nice stab water type attack that's already going to get an increase in power from the Sheer Force and the Life Orb, but we also have Rain Dance on this team too, so we can get an extra 50% boost in power if we want to get greedy with Feraligatr. And then we have Rock Slide here for some nice spread options right there. We can hit two things out at the same time with that Life Orb and Sheer Force working in tandem. And then we have Ice Punch to hit Grass types, Landorus, and Raging Bolt all super effectively, which is going to be really nice. We have Rillaboom here with Knockoff to remove the items from our opponents. We have U-Turn to pivot it out. We have Fake Out for a little bit of support for shutting down one of our opponent's two Pokemon. And then we have Grassy Glide for our main grass type coverage right there. We have Hawlucha here with Acrobatics, Coaching, and Close Combat. It's holding the Grassy Seed and the Unburden ability. So once its Grassy Seed gets consumed, Hawlucha's speed is going to double, and Hawlucha already is incredibly fast in its own right before it gets the Unburden boost. So once we have that Unburden boost, we're not going to be getting caught up by many things, even with Tailwind working in their favor. Hawlucha can then go for a coaching into either Rillaboom or Feraligatr, increase their attack and defense one stage. It can go for a stab Acrobatics, which we are going to just abuse with the Tera flying, and then we can also just nail things with a close combat if Hawlucha has no other options and we just want to just absolutely dent something before Hawlucha leaves the field. We have Magmar here for some redirection support with Follow Me. We have Acid Spray to soften up some targets on the specially defensive side. We have Flamethrower to take advantage of that special defense drop while just having generic stab coverage on Magmar. We have Tera, Grass, and Flame Body on this thing. And what we're going to do here is we're especially going to try to ruin Urshifu Rapid Strike's day with Magmar, because what we're going to do is we're going to pop the Tera Grass on Magmar. We're going to resist Surging Strikes. Magmar's Flame Body has a 30% chance to burn the target, which is going to be really, really helpful since it's a 30% chance per hit. Surging Strikes hits you 3 times. You pull that Surging Strikes into Magmar with the Follow Me to try to get it away from something that doesn't want to take the Surging Strikes. Magmar's got that Tera Grass. If we burn the Urshifu, well, Urshifu is going to have a miserable time. And plus, the nice thing here is Magmar's Follow Me will pull away a Surging Strikes from either Hawlucha, Thundurus, or Flutter Mane, and Flutter Mane and Thundurus both will also appreciate that Acid Spray drop from Magmar into targets as well. And plus, if there's any other physical attackers that aren't a fire type, burning them is not too bad at the end of the day either. So that's Magmar in a nutshell. And then finally, we have Flutter Mane and Thundurus. We have a little bit of speed control in the form of both of these two Pokemon. We have Icy Wind on the Flutter Mane, and we have Prankster Thunderwave on Thundurus. Now, we can't do this to a Dark type, but inflicting that paralysis on a target that's not a Dark type, that's going to be really nice with Prankster. We also have the Rain Dance to boost up Feraligatr's Liquidation, as I already mentioned, and Rain Dance will also make Wild Bolt Storm no longer worry about accuracy, which means we have a nice spread electric type option at our disposal that can potentially paralyze the target. And then on Flutter Mane here, we have Shadow Ball, Dazzling Gleam, and the Icy Wind. I already touched on the Icy Wind, but as far as our main two damaging options go, we do have that Shadow Ball for some raw Ghost type stab damage, and then we have Dazzling Gleam to take advantage of Tera Fairy and just deliver a whopping blow to both of our opponent's Pokemon. So that's the team. Let's jump on in to some battles, shall we? Okay, my opponent here has Landorus, Teal Mask form Ogerpon, which is cool, Urshifu, Tornadus, Archaludon, and Flutter Mane. So I really like the look of Hawlucha here. I think the Acrobatics is going to be very nice. So maybe what we're going to do is we'll lead Rillaboom, Hawlucha. We'll bring Feraligatr in the back. The Tera Poison especially looks nice for dealing with the Ogerpon. we do have to be careful with the Landorus, though. So I think what our last Pokemon will be is... I think it'll be the Flutter Mane. And then that way we have the Icy Wind as well. And a late game Icy Wind might not be the worst thing imaginable. So I think we'll do that. I think what we'll try to do is... we'll get the Unburden activated. We can go for a U-turn with Rillaboom into Feraligatr and try to get some damage there. The Grassy Glide does put Landorus in a little bit of an awkward situation because it doesn't appreciate the amount of damage that it's doing right before the it gets the move. So it's going to be Tornadus and Ogerpon into my Rillaboom and Hawlucha. And I really want to fake out that Tornadus. If they had the Covert Cloak, not the best for me. They also have a Grassy Seed. Oh, that's... oh, no, it's a Mirror Herb. Okay, so what we can do is we could go for the Acrobatics into the Ogerpon with Hawlucha. We could go for Fake Out into Torn. Maybe we push the Tera button on Hawlucha. Because if we get rid of the Ogerpon, Feraligatr could be in a nice spot, and I don't know if the defense boost is going to be enough to get around that. So I think we're going to do that. And we're going to quickly Fake Out the Torn. I think that's what we're going to do here. So we don't see the Tera animation for my opponent first because Hawlucha is the fastest thing on the field. But that doesn't mean we're going to see the Ogerpon Tera. So they could just go for the Spike. Yeah, okay. Okay, so Spiky Shield off of the Ogerpon. If this isn't Covert Cloak, okay. That is good to know. So they do have the Rain Dance and a Covert Cloak. So what we can do is we can go for that Acrobatics into the Torn, or not the Torn, sorry, the Ogerpon, and we're going to try to U-turn into it. We're going to try to double up into it, and if we get rid of it, Feraligatr is in a really nice spot with that Rain on the field. They probably go Tailwind this turn, and if they do, Ogerpon's going to be really fast, but I don't necessarily see it taking out both of my Pokemon. I don't think Ogerpon gets any spread moves, which is very nice. Now, it could just be a straight up Bleak Wind Storm coming from the Torn 2, which I do have to keep that in mind. So here comes the Tera. Ogerpon's going to get a speed boost, so this could be a little bit scary. But there you go. There's the Teal Mask. That is cool to see. I really do dig that. It's going to get the speed boost. If we can get this U-turn and the Acrobatics off, great. So, on the off chance that we... oh! Didn't expect that coming from my opponent. So, they actually went for the U-turn. Who's going to take Ogerpon's place? And I do really like that I can get my Fake Out Preserve. So it's actually going to be the Landorus. Alright. So big damage into Landorus. Ogerpon doesn't have the defense boost anymore either. So Hawlucha almost picks it out. We almost knock that off. Or knock it out. Feraligatr does look good to come in here and go for a Rock Slide. The Sandsear and the Bleakwind both can't miss. So Hawlucha is in a bad spot, but what we could do here is we could take a quick look. They have 3 turns of Rain left. They have 3 turns of Tailwind. So what we could do... we could still try to pull off the Acrobatics. We could also go for the Coaching and go for the Rock Slide, and then that way we can go for a spread move of our own. There's the Sludge Bomb doesn't KO us, and it's nice to know too that the Landorus went before Hawlucha. So here comes the Bleak Wind. Do we take that speed drop off of Feraligatr? Yeah, that's the big thing. Do we take a speed drop here? And if we don't, can we cheese out knockout into Ogerpon? We get the double KO here on the Genies. Feraligatr's putting in some good work. Now we do have to respect the fact that my opponent still has Tailwind. Ogerpon's also going to get a speed boost. And on top of that, it is terrestrialized, so that could be a little bit of a problem for me. So here comes Flutter Mane and Ogerpon. So I don't think Feraligatr's in a good position. They might just assume I'm going for the Fake Out and go for the Spiky Shield. So I could just straight up Grassy Glide into the Flutter, and this is their second last turn, so I do have to be careful here. Getting rid of Ogerpon would be really nice at the end of the day. I don't know if I'm going to get rid of it though. So maybe what we'll do is we'll attempt a Rock Slide, and then that way, if Ogerpon Spiky Shield, great. Feraligatr gets to live, potentially. We're going to get some big damage off into Flutter Mane. So, if Rillaboom tanks this, great. Feraligatr lived it too, so that's even better. If we can get rid of the Flutter Mane here, we should be okay. So they have one more turn of Tailwind. Rillaboom is in a bit of a dire situation here, but we're going to U-turn and we're going to Ice Punch. I assume Feraligatr gets taken out here. Yeah, because of the Horn Leech right there. So that's fine. Feraligatr's Ice Punch was going to do a good amount of damage, but at the end of the day, this is going to create a nice situation for my opponent, because now they have to respect the fact that my Fake Out is back, but I now have a Flutter Mane on the field too. So, a Flutter Mane with a Focus Sash at that. So, Rain is gone. So, there goes their Tailwind. I'm going to reset the Grassy terrain as well. So, the U-turn was great damage into the Ogerpon. And at this range, a Shadow Ball should deal with Ogerpon quite nicely. So, they do have one speed boost, which I do have to be a little bit careful of. So, I think a Shadow Ball, and I think I Fake Out. Now, I assume Spiky Shield comes. Yeah, so that's fine. I think now what I do is I click U-turn and I click Shadow Ball. And then that way too, we saw the amount of damage that Rillaboom did to the Ogerpon. So, the one thing that could be bad is a Horn Leech into Flutter Mane to get back more HP. So, what I think we might have to do is I think we protect Flutter Mane. And I think we U-turn with Rillaboom. We preserve our Focus Sash this way. They're faster than Flutter Mane too, so I'm pretty certain this is what we need to do. Yeah, so there's the Horn Leech right there. We did call that. And Rillaboom should pick up the KO at this range. There we go. Flutter Mane didn't actually have to do anything. It just had to stand there, look pretty behind that Protect. And that's all we needed to get rid of the Ogerpon, because there was no way the Ogerpon was going to get... Well, Ogerpon would have gotten back enough HP to probably live the whatchamacallit, and then I could have just gone for the spiky shield. Rillaboom probably would have went down to the spiky shield recoil, so then Flutter Mane would be sitting there around 1 HP. So that's why we wanted to protect, and I'm very, very glad it worked out. Good game to my opponent. All right, we have Raging Bolt, Iron Bundle, Chi-Yu, Porygon 2, Incineroar, and Urshifu. So this does not look good for Feraligatr. Am I going to bring it? Yeah, most likely. So what we could do is we could go with the Flutter Mane and Magmar lead per se. I don't know what I was going to say personally. I kind of like the idea of going Flutter and Magmar because we can always try to redirect attacks away from Flutter Mane with the Magmar and go for the Dazzling Gleam if we need it. We could potentially burn this Urshifu with Magmar. So I think we're going to do that as our lead. I don't dislike Feraligatr here because Feraligatr could be good for a late game cleanup. And Rillaboom's Fake Out could be nice. Thundurus could be nice as well. So we could do something like that. Thundurus being able to paralyze the Iron Bundle would be really nice since Iron Bundle is faster than Flutter. So that might be something to consider. Yeah, I think we bring Thunder. I think we bring the Thunder. Their Raging Bolt versus my Genie. Let's see how this goes. Now, if they don't bring Raging Bolt, I'm going to feel a little foolish, but I'm okay with that because honestly, I know what Raging Bolt can do, and I'm honestly a little scared of it. I really don't want to take a Calm Mind Thunderclap into Feraligatr, so that could be a thing. It's going to be the Bundle and the Chi-Yu, so I'm wondering if maybe Booster Energy, Icy Wind? Well, there's definitely the Booster Energy right there. Now, Magmar, regardless of if it Teras or not, it's not in a good position here. I could protect Magmar, and then that way we at least survive something. Or we Acid Spray the Chi-Yu, and we pop the Dazzling Gleam. The Bundle is going to take major amounts of damage here, so that is going to be really nice. Who are we dodging the Icy Wind with? Oh, it's Flutter. That's great. Magmar, we don't care if we take that. We do care if we take it with the Flutter. So we'll get a speed drop, sure. We're going to move next with Flutter Mane. We're going to get the Acid Spray off into the Chi-Yu. So that could be nice at the end of the day. I think what we do is, I think we protect Flutter, and I think we try to get rid of the Bundle with the Magmar. And then that way, we can bring in Thundurus if Magmar goes down here. They're going to go for the Icy Wind again. Iron Bundle doesn't have the greatest special defense. So if Magmar can live another Heat Wave, we might be okay here. And if we don't, well, we can always go for Thundurus. Magmar lives. Magmar lives. Okay. Moment of truth time. Do we get rid of the Iron Bundle? We do. We do. That's great pressure off of Flutter Mane right here. I think what we do is we go for a Dazzling and we follow me. If Raging Bolt comes in, great. We can go for a Dazzling Gleam, and I'm pretty sure Follow Me will redirect the Thunderclap. So that is nice right here. Magmar got the finishing blow into the Bundle, and that first Icy Wind dodge was just huge right there. So I'm kind of curious to see how my opponent reacts and what they choose to bring in. So not a terrible start. It's going to be the Incineroar. Alright, so Flutter Mane just protected, but they can't fake out Flutter Mane. We could protect the Magmar this turn, and we go for that Dazzling Gleam. Yeah, so we'll preserve Magmar right now, and Oh, you're okay. And the Acid Spray drop into the Chi-Yu is going to let Flutter Mane pick it off, so that's great. And if Incineroar goes for Flutter Mane here, like it is, we can bring in Feraligatr. Feraligatr's Tera Poison will be really nice for dealing with that Incineroar. And they can't switch out. That's the important thing right here. They can't switch out, so we can always redirect one attack away with Magmar. If we can go for that, no, it's the Raging Bolt, okay. I think what we do here, we follow me with Magmar, and we go for the Ice Punch into the Raging Bolt. Actually, no, I think what we do here is, I think we go for the Liquidation into the Incineroar first. Now, one thing that could be really bad is if an Electro Web comes my way, but Feraligatr does have higher base speed than Raging Bolt, to my knowledge, and I don't think people run a lot of speed into Raging Bolt because they have the Thunderclap to get around that. So what we might be able to do here is we might be able to pick up this KO into the Incineroar, unless this is the Incineroar Tera. It is the Incineroar, so Tera Grass, yeah, that could be a little bit bad for Feraligatr, but my opponent now has two things weak to Ice staring me down, so that is nice, and plus, this is still going to hurt, so not as much as I would have liked it to, but Magmar is going to take the Thunderbolt, so Thundurus can come in. So their Life Orb on the Bolt. Flare Blitz is going to be unpleasant, but we'll live it. And Feraligatr moved before both of them, so what we can do here is we can go for the Tera Poison on Feraligatr, and we can go for the Wild Bolt Storm. Actually, I think we need to Rain Dance if we want to go for the Wild Bolt. Yeah, we're going to Rain Dance, and this will lower Flare Blitz's power. We'll go Tera Poison so that we are no longer weak to Electric. And then this way, we can hit that Ice Punch, should we live, and then we can go from there. So, let's go for Alligator. Let's see how we make out with this Poison Tera. Ground Tera would have been really, really nice here, but oh, that's unpleasant. Yeah, that's unpleasant. We get our Rain Dance, so Flare Blitz is going to do less damage. How much is this Thunderclap going to do? Oof. Oh. For Alligator. I should have protected. Yeah, I should have protected there, unfortunately. Ground Terror would have been really nice for Feraligatr. Here comes the Helping Hand. Man, that wasn't even enough. I mean, I'm especially defensive. Ooh, they're going for blood. Yeah, okay. That's unfortunate. But yeah. Maybe what I should have did was maybe I should have went Protect off of Feraligatr to get around the Thunderclap and try to get the Wild Bolt and go from there. But yeah, I really needed that Ice Punch into the Raging Bolt. What I should have did was when I went for Follow Me with Magmar, I should have went Ice Punch into the Raging Bolt right then and there to try to pick it up. But I don't think I would have taken it out. But anyways, I'm pretty happy with how that match played out. Good game to my opponent. All right, my opponent here has Golden Go, Dragonite, Landorus, Entei. I feel like something's missing here. Oh yeah, Chain Panel. There's no Chain Panel. They got Flutter Mane and Ogerpon as well. So, Landorus is going to be rather unpleasant to deal with, but Feraligatr looks really good here, actually. Feraligatr and Hawlucha might be alright. I kind of want to get my Rillaboom set up, or rather my Hawlucha set up with the Unburden. So we might do something like that. We might go coaching into Rillaboom. Feraligatr does look really nice into the Entei and the Flutter. So that is one nice thing here. And Thundurus might not be the worst thing imaginable. Magmar might not be bad either, because we could potentially burn the Dragonite. And Magmar resisting Make It Rain is going to be really helpful at the end of the day. Same with Thundurus. So the only thing we can't paralyze is the... Well, we can't paralyze the Landorus or the Golden Go. So maybe we bring Thundurus. Golden Go is going to be immune to status conditions in general and status moves thanks to Good as Gold. So Golden Go and Landorus are not a good endgame for Thundurus, but if neither one of them come, great for Thundurus. We can paralyze some things and go from there. So it's going to be Flutter Mane and Ogerpon. I like that. One nice thing here too is I could go with the Grassy Glide into the Flutter, but I could go with the Acrobatics into the Flutter Mane, and then that way too, we do major amounts of damage to it. Hawlucha is EV'd to outspeed Flutter Mane, so I think what we can do here is, I think we can click the Acrobatics into the Flutter Mane, and if Ogerpon redirects it, Ogerpon redirects it. And I think we go for a U-turn. There's the Spiky Shield, even better. Perfect. That's not a bad start. So this is going to nail Flutter Mane for major amounts of damage. Now, we're going to take a little bit of Spiky Shield recoil, unfortunately, but that's one major problem just gone thanks to Hawlucha. Yes, that is one major problem. No longer there. And the Ogerpon really does not like Rillaboom here. So we do have that working in our favor. Now, they could always go extreme speed into Rillaboom here, but Feraligatr does look nice in the back here. I think what we do is we protect this one turn, and we try to pivot out with Rillaboom if it just straight up doesn't go down. They're going to withdraw Ogerpon, that's great. If Dragonite doesn't knock out Rillaboom here, that's going to be great to preserve that, and we can always bring in the Feraligatr and just go from there. They're going to go Dragon Dance, which is a little bit spooky. Not going to lie, that is really spooky for my team, but getting a little bit of chip damage into Golden Go is not the worst thing imaginable. And we can always go for the Thundurus and try to paralyze that Dragonite, or we just go straight up Feraligatr and try to deal with it. So that is a nice thing. I think what we want to do is we want to go for the coaching and try to get rid of the Golden Go. Because I think... Oh, I don't want Tera. Because what I think is I think they see the Ice Punch coming and they just try to deal with it that way. So we're going to get our coaching off. Dragonite can probably KO Hawlucha. Or, yeah, even at full at this range. Ooh, it's Outrage. Okay, and we also live that. My opponent's getting greedy and setting up right in front of me, but I'm fine with this because we're going to land this Liquidation right into Golden Go. And you're gone. Goodbye. I was scared of you, now not so much. I have Rillaboom in the back. Rillaboom's Tera Water in case I'm going to have to take a flying type attack off of Dragonite, but it doesn't want to do that in front of the Ogerpon. And you know what? They set up right in front of me. I'm going to set up right in front of them. I'm going to go for the I'm pretty sure it's inner focus, but I'm going to go for the liquidation into the Dragonite. And the main reason being is because I'm worried about... Oh, I should have Terra'd. I should have Terra'd right here. Because that's still a grass type. Yeah, that's still a grass type right in front of me. So, Hawlucha goes down to the Outrage. We are at +2 defense, though, with Feraligatr, so Feraligatr's not in a bad position. It's just not in a great position because of all that damage. So, we took half that Dragonite's health. Oh, that was a crit, that's why. It's Rocky Helmet. That's good to know. So, I think what we do here is we bring Thundurus. We go for a Thunder Wave. I think we protect Feraligatr this turn. And then that way, we don't have to worry about the Dragonite going for the Outrage into it. It clicked Outrage and it locked into Hawlucha back-to-back, which I'm pretty certain we'll probably see it hit Feraligatr at some point, so I'd rather not take that. And plus, getting the speed drop into Dragonite is going to be great at the end of the day. They go for the Horn Leech again off of Ogre Pawn. If I go Tera with Feraligatr, I should be alright to live an attack Horn Leech off of Ogre Pawn. Dragonite is now confused as well. Do I want to try to paralyze the Ogre Pawn? And the answer to that question is yes. I want to try to paralyze the Ogre Pawn, and I want to get that Dragonite just off the field. So I think now what we're going to do is we're going to Ice Punch into the Dragonite, and we're going to go from there. I was really worried because we saw the Dragon Dance that we were going to start taking extreme speeds, and that's not to say that we might still not, but I'm hoping because it's confused it hits itself. We're going to miss the Ogre Pawn, unfortunately, but we are going to take this much better. And Feraligatr should now outspeed the Dragonite, so we're going to get rid of that. And, forgot about the Rocky Helmet, but that's not the worst thing imaginable. We're set up with Feraligatr. We have Rillaboom in the back, and Ogre Pawn just really does not appreciate that. I am not giving that thing Rain Dance by any means. And we're gonna just go for Protect and try. I'll take that. That worked out relatively nice at the end of the day for me, because Wild Bolt's accuracy is just as bad as Bleak Wind's, so I'm very happy with how that played out. Good game to my opponent. Hey, thank you guys so much for checking out this Hawlucha and Feraligatr team in action. Overall, I think the team performed pretty good between the 3 games. It is unfortunate that we ended up going 2-1, but all things considered, Hawlucha did phenomenal work in games 1 and game 3. It didn't come to game 2, and maybe, just maybe, that might have been enough to flip the dynamic to help make it a bit more of a closer match in favor of me winning, but I'll never know. Though I'm just saying, close combat in that Chi-Yu and the Iron Bundle could have been pretty nice, all things considered, but I digress. Hawlucha did phenomenal work in game 1 here. We ended up going for Tera Flying boosted Acrobatics into that Landorus Incarnate and just absolutely ruined Landorus's day because we almost picked up a KO with the Acrobatics, and the U-turn was enough to bring it down to probably about 10% of its HP. So overall, that was pretty nice in game 1, and then Hawlucha was able to set up Feraligatr with the coaching at +1 attack. Feraligatr was able to just take advantage of the softened up opponent's Pokemon here. We picked up the KO into the Tornadus with the Rock Slide. We finished off the Landorus in the same turn with the Rock Slide, and we were able to go for another one into the Flutter Mane and finish that one off, which resulted in them having to go for their Teal Mask Ogre Pawn to finish off Feraligatr. So Feraligatr did pick up the KO on 3 of their Pokemon, which overall I consider that a pretty good win. And then in game 3, Feraligatr and Hawlucha just absolutely picked up where they left off in game 1. Feraligatr was able to just run with the +2 from the 2 coachings, and Hawlucha deleted that Flutter Mane, sent it right to the Netherworld with a raw Acrobatics, and then that way when Dragonite came in, Feraligatr with a resisted, now granted it was a critical hit, Feraligatr did take half of that Dragonite's HP with that +2 liquidation, and I didn't quite say it in the video because I realized I had forgotten to click Tera because that Ogerpon was still a grass type. I was worried about setting off a weakness policy, otherwise I would have gone for the Ice Punch or the Rock Slide. Finding out that thing was Rocky Helmet was pretty good for Feraligatr, and it just goes to show how strong the defensive setup for Feraligatr was, because I ended up surviving that Horn Leech no problem. While I did lose over 100 HP, Feraligatr stuck around, and Feraligatr was able to continue to put some good pressure on my opponent, and Thundurus came in Game 3 and was able to paralyze the Dragonite, allowing Feraligatr to finish it off. So we boiled down to my Feraligatr staring down their Ogerpon before my opponent saw the writing on the wall and ended the battle. So overall, I'm pretty happy with the team, as I might have already said. I'm kind of rambling now, but anyways, let me know what you think of the team down in the comments below, and let me know what you think of Hawlucha and Feraligatr. If there's any Pokemon you might want to see down the road, be sure to let me know. And if you want to see some information about the team as well, in the description, I will have a Pokepaste for the team there as well. Anyways, I will see you next time.